16 laps. A 16-lap race coming up next. Well, confirmation that we do not have Koki Mizuno out on the track. Koki Mizuno is a non-starter. Believe me, he wants to race. He's made strong representations that he should be permitted to race. As we understand it, at hospital yesterday, he was discharged and he was recommended to rest the injured leg, but he wasn't denied the opportunity to race. He was asked to present himself to the doctor here today, and the doctor would make a decision. We have to assume, therefore, that the doctor has decided he's not fit to race. That can often be not so much that the driver himself wouldn't be able to race. It could be a decision. He might make himself a danger to others if he's not totally in control. It was a leg injury that Koki Mizuno suffered, but we saw him earlier this morning, and well, he was making it very clear that he felt fit and well and wanted to race, but not to be. So Jonathan Hoggard from pole position, just slowing down the guys behind him. The guys and one lady, which is Janne Johansson. And somebody's off the, I think that's at the back of the grid, cart number 291, Mikel Marquez, scheduled to start on the 14th row. Looks as if he might not get there and have to start last, but that only really loses him 2 or 3 places. So not a big loss for Mikel Marquez. Coming in then to the chicane, left and right, then right turn again onto the home straight. To the left of your screen is Jonathan Hoggard, the pole sitter in cart 300. We're going racing, and we hope for a first timer. Here we go. Oh, a good start from both of the front row drivers. Jonathan Hoggard converts his pole position to a first place, and for the first time a big wide outside. Oh, and we've been tagged. Jonathan Hoggard has taken a tag from Alex Fuoco, and our race leader, our pole sitter, has now gone off the circuit. So it's a very, very difficult surface for them to race on. Just trying to determine, well, very, very hard. Better not say anything that has to be left to the judicial powers, the officials, but it did look to me, I can't deny it because I said it in commentary, I believe that the start by Jonathan Hoggard had put him into the lead. The fast start by Alex Fuoco on the wide outside had enabled him to carry the speed wide through and get into a comfortable into second place, but that he'd tapped Jonathan Hoggard. Didn't look to be deliberate in any way at all, but there was contact, and as a result of it, a rather unfortunate situation at the start of the senior final. Let me look away from the track onto the screen. I readily confess that I couldn't identify who your race leader was. It was Felix Varga of Belgium. He's gone through in the lead from Jordan Brown-Nutley of Great Britain in second place. Lars Lamberel, the Dutchman, went through third. Nicholas Schürl of Austria was fourth. Una Varis into the top 5 for the first time this weekend. He's from Finland. Ido Cohen in 6th place, the driver from Israel. And Jordan Brown-Nutley, as I glance, has taken the lead. But is he going to lose the lead? It's very, very close, these three. Oh, and again, there's some contact. So Felix Varga of Belgium getting himself well back in the lead, but he's left the tarmac onto the rumble strip and he's lost the lead. So Jordan Brown-Nutley, cart 252, is the one. Lars Lamberel in front of him, and Felix Varga is the driver that Lars Lamberel had passed. And Lars going very wide onto the home straight at the end of lap 2. These are not easy driving conditions. As we start lap 3, Lars Lamberel is 1, Felix Varga 2, Jordan Brown-Nutley 3, Nicholas Schurl 4, Univaris completing the top 5. Ido Cohen 6, Glenn Rupp 7, Alex Fuoco 8, Scott Simmons 9, Alessandro Trombelli in the top 10. And Jonathan Hoggard, the pole sitter, is down in 18th place. So Jonathan Hoggard now has 13 and a half laps to work hard to get a better starting position than he otherwise would have done. He's not gone out of the race, but he's in the lower reaches of the top 20. Jonathan Hoggard in kart number 300. At the sharp end of the race, it's still the Dutchman Lars Lambarel. I have referred in the past to Lars Lambarel as the Flying Dutchman, but on the circuit at the moment, where they're doing about 68 seconds a lap, they're not so much flying as tiptoeing round. It's not easy conditions. Oh, and somebody there has taken a little tap and there's lost many positions. Kart 304 was that? Not able to identify with certainty. If it was 304, it was Adam Vinci, but I don't think he was that high. Yes, it could have been Jonathan Hoggard, Jill is suggesting to me. If it was Jonathan Hoggard, then he can be of the opinion that the gods are against him in this one. Just looking down in 18th position, Jonathan Hoggard, who'd climbed up to out of the top 20, into the top 20, up to 18th, is now no higher than 22nd on my chart. So I think that for the second time in the race, Jonathan Hoggard from pole position has found himself receiving a little tap from somebody else in the race, and the little tap hasn't done him any good. I hasten to say, now Jordan Brown Nutley taking the lead, Felix Varga taking the lead. I hasten to say, it's important that I say this, I'm your commentator, I'm the speaker, I am not an official. I don't sit in judgment on any of these drivers. I simply tell you what I see, and without apportioning any kind of blame at all, I am saying to you that Jonathan Hoggard took a touch when he lost the lead on the opening lap, and he appears to have been the driver who you saw on the screen on lap 3 taking a touch and ending up facing the other way. Fast lap for Jordan Brown Nutley, 66.97, so we're getting a little bit quicker. Jonathan Hoggard shown on our screen now as 26th of 28 drivers still running. We had 28 starting because Koki Mizuno of Japan was a non-starter. So Jonathan Hoggard, as I said moments ago, has now got the same task. He can't sit there bemoaning his misfortune. He's got to work in these remaining 10 laps or so, 11 laps, try to get as many places back as he can for a decent starting position when we come to the final this afternoon. At the moment, we're completing lap 5, and as we set off on lap 6, Felix Varga, the Belgium, leads Lars Lambarel second, Jordan Brown Nutley, the fastest driver on track, third, Nicholas Schurl running fourth, Univaris fifth, Ido Cohen 6, Glenn Rupp 7, Scott Simmons 8, Alessandro Trombelli 9, and Alex Fuoco just spilling a place on that lap, or it may have been the previous lap. He's down into 10th place. Just outside of the top 10, it's Harrison Thomas of the United Kingdom 11th, and Kairo Kivi of Estonia 12th. Berkay Besler has gained a place up to 13th. That was at the expense of the German Kevin Kemmerling, and Patrick Rundqvist of Sweden just gaining a place up into 21st behind Charlie Anderson, who's in 20th place. Jonathan Hoggard has gone past Janni Johansson and Rigar Vieras, so Jonathan just climbing a little bit, but still outside the top 20. Well, an eventful race. We set off now on lap 7. We're not yet at the half race distance. 66 seconds per lap. 66 laps will have us here till it's dark. Felix Varga still holding this advantage, 0.43 of a second over Lars Lambarel. Jordan Brown Jutley still third. Univaris of Finland, his best place all weekend. He's climbed up to 4th place. Univaris in kart 287. Univaris driving a Tony kart for VRT. is in 4th, Nicholas Schurl 5th, Ido Cohen 6th, Glenn Rupp 7th, Scott Simmons 8th, Alessandro Trombelli 9th, Speedy Alex completing the top 10. No change of position then, other than you, Navaris, moving up to 4th. No change of position in the top 14. We've got a faller in the lower reaches of the top 14. Axel Bengtsson dropping down to 17th and Adam Vinci down to 19th. Coming up to complete lap 7. Lap 7 completed. We're starting lap 8. And Felix Varga, the Belgian, increases his lead to 0.6 of a second, or if you want to be pedantic with me, 0.599 of a second. Maybe between friends we'll call it 0.6 of a second. Then a long gap behind Lars Lamberel to Jordan Brown-Nutley in 3rd place. A pretty long gap behind Jordan Brown-Nutley to Nicholas Schurl, but there's some good racing from 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, etc. Nicholas Schurl holding the advantage now in 4th place. Ido Cohen going up to 5th place. That's the highest the Israeli driver has been all weekend. And Navaris, having said how well he'd done to get to the rarefied heights of 4th place, is now actually running 6th. Scott Simmons has gained a place up to 7th. Glenn Rupp has dropped a place to 8th. So half race distance, 8 laps gone, 8 to go. And nobody's gone any quicker than 64.6 seconds. And most of the drivers are going in the 66s. So definitely slower racing than we would have encountered on slick tyres on a dry track. However, Felix Varga says, you know what, I don't mind, I'm leading the race, and if I can keep Lars Lamberel behind me, the rest of them are a long way. But Lars Lamberel has a different attitude. He's trying to close in. It's not easy when you're second and you feel you've got the chance to go past the leader, but on difficult racing circumstances, Felix just taking a little drift there, and Lars Lamberel, if that had have been the straight, well, they're a little quicker into the chicane, coming onto the home straight. Here you see them coming towards us. Felix Varga in the lead, Lars Lamberel in 2nd place. The margin in time terms is 0.31 of a second, and Lars Lamberel just briefly had a little look there, didn't he? Had a little peep inside of Felix Varga. Not sure. Oh, best lap for Lars Lamberel at 64.2, so he is getting quicker. I had been referring to the race leader as Felix Varga. One of his paddock crew said, look, he gets called Varga. If you want to call him Varga, you can do. And my attitude is I'd like to call him by his correct name, but Felix Varga, Felix Varga, tell you what I can say without a shadow of a doubt is correct. Felix is the race leader, but Lars Lamberel in kart 276 putting the pressure on. We're on lap 10 of 16. And Lars Lamberel at many stages around the circuit looks as if he's about to make a potential passing move, but he's not close enough here. The margin was 0.31 of a second and it's gone up to 0.63 of a second. So Felix Varga in the lead has increased his lead over Lars Lamberel by 0.3 of a second, and 0.6 of a second seems a very healthy lead. Got a little scrap now between 3 and 4, which is Jordan Brown-Nutley and Nicholas Schurl. Jordan Brown-Nutley is kart number 252, Nicholas Schurl kart number 216. Just having a look where Jonathan Hoggard is. Yes, he's into the top 20, isn't he? Jonathan Hoggard at 20th place now. So, well, not a lot short of a disaster for Jonathan Hoggard, but he's got another 6 laps to go, including the one that we're on. And if he could get another half a dozen places, he might still get a position to start the final, which, remember, will be over a much longer distance. The final being raced over 19 laps. So all is not lost for Jonathan Hoggard, but he's climbing a rather steep hill at the moment. This is lap 12. Felix Varga's lead is 0.726. Lars Lamberel, who looked at one stage about, what, 3 laps ago, as if he was definitely reeling. Well, he was reeling in Felix. There's no question the Dutchman was reeling in Felix Varga. It looked only a matter of time before he reached him and potentially passed him, but Felix Varga has changed all that now. His lead very nearly 3/4 of a second. Thomas Leiner, the official who was the official who you saw momentarily there. There he was again in the white shirt. Thomas from Austria. So I'm tempted to stay with this scrap with Felix and Lars, but it's a much better race situation behind them. Jordan Brown Nutley in third, Nicholas Schürrle fourth. Alessandro Trombelli moved himself up to fifth. Here come the race 4, 5, 6 and 7 over the start finish line now. Much closer racing than at the front. There's no change of position in the top 10. There's no change of position in the top 15. So everybody as they were on lap 11, on lap 12, and no change of position in the top 20. Jonathan Hoggard, the pole sitter and early race leader, having gotten himself up into 19th place at the moment, which if the race ended here would give him a 10th row start in the final. This is this is lap 13 of a 16-lap race. We're in our 14th minute of the race, and Felix Varga's lead is extended to 1.39 seconds, and an even bigger margin between Lars Lamberell second and Jordan Brown Nutley third. That's 2.6 seconds, so nothing like a close race between those two as they head off onto lap 14. No change in the top 5, no change in the top 10, and if I'm interpreting it correctly, no change in the top 15. Confirmation officially, no change in the top 15. Jonathan Hoggard has moved up into 18th place from 19th, so that drops Michael Stepinski to 19th and Kevin Kembling into 20th place. Lap 14, and Felix Varga now is not feeling the pressure from Lars Lamberell, but it's still not an easy drive for the race leader because there's still, well, challenges, shall we say, on this race surface. It is not an easy surface on which to race. There is our race leader on screen coming towards us now. Lars Lamberell in second place is 2.3 seconds behind him, and in third place you see Jordan Brown Nutley. 2 laps to go then for our race leaders. Rather more close racing that you're seeing on screen now. In fourth place Alessandro Trombelli, fifth Nicholas Schürrle, sixth Scott Simmons, seventh Alex Fuoco. Unavaris, who has been as high as fourth, has just gained a place back from 9th up to 8th. Glenn Rupp is running 9th, and Kairo Kivi of Estonia has driven into the top 10 at number 10, with Ido Cohen of Palestine just dropping out of the top 10 to 11th place. It's hard going for Jonathan Hoggard. He's in 18th place, but he's not picking off 2 or 3 places a lap as he might have been expected to do in different conditions. The driver that you see there, cart number 254, our race leader Felix Varga, coming round now to start the final lap. Last lap, 1 to go. And Jordan Brown Nutley, while I was not looking at the circuit, has gone past Lars Lamberell. So whilst I was looking at the lower order of the timing screen, Lars Lamberell has spilt a big advantage over Jordan Brown Nutley, and the British driver is now clearly into second place, and Lars Lamberell will be wondering, what on earth have I done? He may not be too disappointed if he's going to finish third in the pre-final, giving him an inside row 2 start, but as things stand at the moment, Felix Varga would start the final on pole position, and Jordan Brown Nutley would start with him on the outside of the front row. Well, let's do justice to the Belgian, because he has driven a careful race, but he's driven a sensible race, and he has taken the initiative And it isn't just a case of others have fallen by the wayside. Here's the checkered flag. Here's our race winner. Felix Varga from Belgium wins it, and a deserved result as well. Coming home in second place is Jordan Brown-Nutley for a front row start in the final. Lars Lamberel has lost his third place to Alessandro Trombelli. So Lars Lamberel had a very, very bad final 2 laps of this pre-final, and if we speak with the Dutchman, we may find there's a story there, because Lars Lamberel, who looked a very, very safe second place, eventually finishes 4th. Nicholas Schurl 5th, Scott Simmons 6th, Speedy Alex 7, Univaris 8, Glenrup 9th, and Cairo Kiwi completing the top 10. Outside of the top 10, Jonathan Hoggard couldn't climb any higher than 18th, but he has a 9th row start in the final, as our caption shows you there. Jonathan Hoggard then of KR Sport, having to do it the hard way.